everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. This is a pretty important video, right? So you guys read the title. You saw the thumbnail. There's really no beating around the bush for this one. I've done videos talking about why a good holster is so important, but we do need to talk about the importance of a holster overall. Well, unfortunately, we do see a lot of people who think that it's okay to conceal carry or open carry without a holster, and that's really just not it. So, in this video, 3 compelling reasons why a holster is a must-have. So, in this case, I got my inside the waistband. Technically, it's a Glock 19 holster, but I got my dagger in it because they're same barrel length, same size, same shape. So, regardless, that's off the topic here. Reason number 1, you want a reliable draw. A lot of people might be wondering, well, what is it about the holster that really gives you the reliable draw? Well, if you have a holster like this is what's referred to as a level 1 holster, meaning there's only one thing keeping that firearm inside the holster, and that is friction. That's the whole reason why when you pull out the gun, you have to give it a little bit of oomph and it doesn't just fall out from being upside down. And of course, just in case, have your hand under it. But in the end, you want a reliable draw. You want to be able to, when you need that gun out, you can get it out. If you do not have a holster, you are worried about fumbling with a lot of different things here, whether it's more clothing, whether it's something's possibly caught on your gun or inside the trigger guard for whatever reason. It's just not going to be as reliable and as easy of a draw as it would be if you had a holster. And in the end, if you're going to be concealed carrying or open carrying, you probably are doing so to keep yourself safe. So what's going to be more safe than being able to reliably draw your firearm when it is needed? Now, moving on from that, we're going to move on to number 2, keeping it in the same spot. A lot of people don't seem to understand that with this holster, when I put it on my hip, my gun's not going anywhere. My gun's not going to accidentally slip out or somehow, slip down into my pants. It is going to be right where I put it. That is the entire point of a holster, is to make sure that your firearm stays where you put it. Now, what does it being in the same spot that you put it help you with? It helps you with reliably drawing your firearm. All of these really go hand in hand. You want to be able to keep your gun in one spot when you have it on your hip. You want to be able to reliably draw it. It's all going hand in hand, guys. It's very obvious here that a holster is very much so a must-have. If you are carrying, do not carry without a holster. Some people will argue, oh, well, there are laws that are against carrying without a holster, and maybe in some states and cities there are. But that's not federal, first off. Let me just say that. However, though, beyond that, I don't even care if that is the law or not. I'm telling you guys just out of a aspect of common sense safety. You want to be able to draw your firearm reliably, meaning you don't want to draw your firearm and the gun slip out of your hand. You want to be able to keep it in the same spot where you placed it on your hip, so that way you can draw reliably. It's all going hand in hand, guys. Third reason. This should be, if those other 2 reasons really didn't make you say, you know what, a holster is indeed a must-have, then this third one will. And the third reason is safety. A lot of people don't seem to realize that if you don't have a holster, your trigger guard is exposed. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is that a lot of stuff can get into your trigger guard, whether it's clothing, whether it's a drawstring, whether it's even just debris. And if that gets into your trigger guard, that means there's a higher possibility of your trigger being pulled. What happens then if the trigger is pulled while you're carrying? Well, there might be a hole in your leg or somewhere else on your body that you really don't want there to be a hole in. I mean, it's all common sense here, guys. If you're going to carry a firearm, carry it with a holster. Plain and simple. There's no other way about it. Okay, if you're not going to carry with a holster, you're being, 1, just dangerous, but 2, idiotic in my opinion. I mean, why would you want to take the risk of not being able to draw your gun out in time? Why would you want to take the risk of your gun falling down your pants? Why would you want to take the risk of possibly something getting into the trigger guard of your firearm and pulling that trigger? Why would you want to take that chance? Hold on, just had to make sure the microphone was still on, guys. Sorry about that. Why would you want to take that chance? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense to anybody, and it will never make sense to anybody as to why you would want to do that. There's no actual reason in any capacity, in any way, shape, and form as to why you should be carrying without a holster. A holster is a must-have, plain and simple. Remember, guys, it's all broken down into 3 reasons, plain and simple. The reliability of your draw. With a holster, that reliable draw is a must-have. You need to be able to draw reliably. How can you do so? Well, this holster allows you to keep your gun in place, so that way you can draw reliably. And then guess what? The holster will keep that trigger guard covered. If you have a bad holster that's not covering your trigger guard out, of course, recommend you change it out for a much better holster. I do recommend Kydex holsters in particular. This one is a We the People holster. Do I recommend We the People? They're okay. However, every one of my holsters from them, every single one has cracked. Every single one. I've gotten over 5 holsters from them. Every one has cracked. So there are obviously much, much better brands than We the People out there. But that's besides the point. My whole point that I'm getting at here is a holster that covers your trigger guard to keep it safe. A holster that will stay where you put it, on your hip. And a holster that will allow you to draw your gun reliably. All of these reasons are the actual reasons as to why you need a holster. Not to mention these are qualities to look for in a holster, which I know I kind of spoke about in another video. But all in all, I think that about wraps it up for this video. In the very end, if you're carrying without a holster, again, in my opinion, you are an idiot. If you are carrying without a holster, you are negligent. You are a danger. Whether it's to yourself or to other people is yet to be seen. But you are not the most common sense individual if you're carrying without a holster. Plain and simple. So with that being said, y'all make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all and. I really don't think a lot of these videos I've been doing recently, there's really not too much you can do to disagree with me. I think this is one of those videos. It's very obvious that you do need a holster when you are carrying. Why is that? You want your trigger guard covered so that way nothing pulls that trigger. That's talked about. Why is that? Because you want to be able to draw your gun reliably. Why is that? You want to be able to keep your gun in the same place as you set it. All of these are reasons why you need a holster. Whether or not you like the content or not, because really there's no disagreeing with me in this case. Whether or not you like the content, go ahead and comment down below. Make sure to check out all my other videos. Y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.